So then we will listen to 3 sounds of the bell to start. So dear respected Thay, dear brothers and sisters in the community, dear friends, today is Friday the 10th of April in the year 2020, and we are in the European Institute of Applied Buddhism during our online Easter retreat. It's our first online Easter retreat, our first online retreat überhaupt. So it is, it's a special time and also an exciting time for us to host this retreat in this way. And even it is online, and we are a little bit everywhere, but I also feel a connection to all of you, to everybody. And this connection is a connection to know that we are on the same path together. And we are together, we are breathing, together we are walking, we are sitting, we are we spend the day together in a different way, in a new way. And I remember when Thay often told us that when he was in Vietnam, it was in the Vietnam War, and he said it was a very difficult time for him, for all the people in Vietnam, of course, and he saw a lot of suffering around, and he also saw a lot of suffering in himself. And it was a time of many wounds. Many people got physically wounded, but many more people were emotionally wounded. And when Thay discovered, like the sutra on mindful breathing of the Buddha, he felt he was the happiest person on the planet Earth, because he felt the mindful breathing could help him to take care of himself and to take care of these wounds that were deep inside of him. And when we feel that we have found a way to deal with our difficulties, it can be a very happy moment. Even we have difficulties, we have problems, things may not be so easy, but when we see how we can deal with it, when we see a way out, we can still be very happy. And this was a moment of realization for our teacher, to see that that there is a path, that there is suffering, but that there's also a path out of suffering, and that there's a way to transform and to heal. And so we do not need to be victims, but we can see that we can learn and we can grow. And maybe that is at the root, at the basis of all, is to not just look at the difficulties and the issues and the problems, but to see that underneath whatever is coming on our path, that we can embrace it and we can see it as a part of our journey and not something that we want to push away. And everything is an opportunity for us to learn, both happy and also the more difficult moments. In this retreat, we have an opportunity to practice together the whole day long, and also when we stand up. I don't know how you stood up this morning. I hope you stood up with a smile. And if you did not, then maybe tomorrow you can wake up with a smile. And that is our practice in the monastery. That's also like how we are trained. We are trained to bring mindfulness in every aspect of our daily life. So as soon as we wake up, our practice is to smile to us, to smile to life, to feel that we have energy and we have hope for the new day. And so our practice is, when we wake up, to mindfully take an in-breath and to recite the verse, "Waking up this morning, I smile." And our first out-breath, we say, 24 brand new hours are before me. Breathing in, I vow to live each moment fully. And to breathe out, and to smile, and to look at all beings with eyes of understanding and love. So, one more time. Waking up this morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live each moment fully, and to look at all beings with the eyes of love. And these gathas, gatha means mindfulness verse, we have for all activities during our daily life. So also when we get into our shoes, or when we brush our teeth, when we drink a cup of tea. And these gathas, they are an anchor for us to be grounded in the moment and to live life fully and not like as in a dream. And so also when we brush our teeth, we can also take time to brush our teeth. If we do it mechanically or if we do it electrically, the practice can be the same. Just to stand there and to stand solidly on the earth and to really take care of each tooth and to make the vow that out of our mouth will be beautiful and loving speech. And when we walk and when we sit, we do it together. We are not alone. And when we breathe, we can try to do it 100%, to be 100% with our in-breath and to be 100% with our out-breath. It sounds easy, and we always repeat this. And I think it's important to always repeat it, because we always forget. And our breathing can be an anchor. And our way of breathing, we can always learn. Do not think, I already know my in-breath. I already know my out-breath. It is like as if you would say, I already know myself. I already know my mind. I already know everything. I already know my partner. I already know my children. I already know my parents. There's nothing new for me to discover. I already know everything. I think that is a wrong perception. And also for our breathing, if you think you already know mindful breathing, I think it is a wrong perception. I think we can always learn more, and learn more how to breathe in such a way that is healing for ourselves and transforming our body and mind. And so Thay was happy to learn the art of mindful breathing, because he saw that to learn the art of mindful breathing is the way to heal ourselves. And we can all learn to heal ourselves. And a smile is a smile for ourselves, a smile to life. And I think that is important. I think it is important to smile enough during our life. To smile, to see, because we are in touch with the wonders of life around us. And if we are not in touch, we can still smile, because that is a smile to life and a smile to us. And with that smile, we can start to feel at ease, and we can start to feel more love towards ourselves. So sometimes our smile is a product, is a natural effect of feeling happy and to feel well. And sometimes we start with a smile to initiate that well-being, because with our smile we are training ourselves to smile. And when we smile more, I think other people will also start to smile to us more. And with the bell, when we listen to the bell, we can also train ourselves to listen 100%. Not to our thinking, not to our feelings, mental formations too much, but to let go of our clinging of the past and of the future, and to be really present for the moment. So we can listen to a sound of the bell right now, and to really be in touch with our breathing. Practicing mindful breathing, we bring our body and mind together. So our mind is really with our body and not somewhere else, not in the past, not in the future, but really present. And that is our true home. So when we listen to the bell, we say, listen, listen. This wonderful sound of the bell brings me back to my true home. And where is our true home? Our true home is in the present moment. Our true home is our body, our feelings, our perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. And we can always discover more about ourselves, about our body, our feelings, our mind. And that is very deep. We can always discover more. We can always learn more. And that is why this practice of mindful breathing is not just for a day or a week or for a few weeks or a year, but we can practice it during our whole life. And also the Buddha when he reached enlightenment, he just continued his practice of mindful breathing, of walking, of sitting. Because at that time, he was learning how to be a teacher. And he could grow by learning how to be a good teacher. And so I think during our whole life, we can always learn more. And we can also learn that we, ourselves, we are there because of conditions. And there are many conditions, but one very important condition is the presence of our parents and of our grandparents. And so we can also see that these conditions are a part of us, like the conditions of parents, the conditions of having food to eat, of having water to drink, of the society around us that has an impact on us, how we are right now, and of course the culture and the society of our parents and grandparents. So all these conditions, they come together. And so we can see, when we look into ourselves, we see that we are there because of many conditions. And to understand ourselves also means that we should also be in touch with all these conditions that are there. And one very important condition is also the presence of Mother Earth. And then we are Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is us, and Mother Earth needs us. Also in this time, maybe at the moment, there's a lot of attention, of course, for the coronavirus. But still, our planet needs us, and our Mother Earth needs us. We can count on Mother Earth, but Mother Earth can also ask us, can she count on us? And in this moment we can still see that we share the resources with each other. Mother Earth has so many resources, and we are so many people, and we use so many resources. And in fact, we share these resources not only with Homo sapiens, but also with all living beings that are present right now. And our Mother Earth has the wisdom of non-discrimination, like not discriminating between species. And I think the time of the Jura or other eras for many millions of years, I think the earth was also very beautiful. There were no Homo sapiens yet, but I think the earth was also very beautiful, with many forests, with many animals, many species that are not there anymore. But I think our planet was very beautiful also. And I think our Mother Earth is not comparing, is not looking at a certain time as a more happy time than other times. Mother Earth is just always there as our base for life, Mother Earth and Father Sun. And when we practice walking meditation, we can be aware of that. We take steps on Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is there for us. And each step can reflect our love and our care for Mother Earth. Because Mother Earth is not just matter, Mother Earth is life, is our life and the life of many, many species. And so we are not alone. Maybe in this time we have more a sense of loneliness, but we can see that that we are very connected. We can connect ourselves with the earth and with our ancestors, with our body, with our feelings, with every mindful breath. The Buddha, in the time of the Buddha, there was a monk who also was living by himself. Or most of the things he did by himself. So he went for alms by himself, and he went to eat by himself, and he meditated by himself. He did everything he did by himself, and he thought that was exactly in line with what the Buddha was teaching. And but the other monks, they felt that he did not completely understand what the Buddha was teaching. And when the Buddha heard it, then the Buddha, he taught that even though if you like to be alone very much, and that is okay, it's like physically you're alone. But he said, actually there's a better way of being alone. And that is not, of course you can be physically alone, but you don't need to be physically alone to be, to have the better way to live alone. And so the Buddha taught that to be alone, it means that we are not with our thoughts of the past, and we are not with our projects for the future, but we are deeply present in the present moment. And so also for us, we know that with each breath, with each step, we have an opportunity to touch the wonders of life that are in us and around us. And even if it is difficult, maybe we only have a small success, we only feel a little bit more happy. Or during meditation, we only have a few mindful in and out breaths where we feel that we are really in touch with ourselves, where we are really feeling, where we really calm down, then we can already be happy, and happy to, with this success, only a few % happier, only a few % more mindful. It's already great. I think many times we have too high expectations. Everything needs to be perfect, exactly the way we imagine it, exactly the way we want it. And that may be in our profession, in our career, we have an idea how it should be. And maybe we are comparing with the reality, with the way we think it should be. Or with the food that we are eating. It's not exactly our favorite food. And we may easily compare it, the reality, to the ideal situation. Our relationship, we may have an idea of like the perfect relationship, how it should be. And then we compare the reality of our relationship with that idea. And then it's very easy to feel not happy, to feel not satisfied. And when I grew up, I had an idea of wanting to be a superstar. I think especially in our Western civilization, it's very much focused on individual Leistung, prestatie. Now I forget the English word. Like what we can individually do, like to be a superstar. It's not so much the focus on being in a team or being in a community, but very much focused on Superman or like a superpower. Jesus Christ superstar, or Buddha, to see Buddha as a superstar, to see our teacher as a superstar. And also in myself, I saw that this also comes from a comparison, to see the reality of myself and feeling not really very special. But my idea is I want to be somebody special, like Superman, like the Buddha, like Jesus, like people who are quite famous and quite well known. And so this idea also of wanting to be a superstar, I see, comes easily from a complex of inferiority, because we feel we are not good enough, we are not special enough, and we should be more special. But the good news is that we are already very special, and that each moment in our daily life is like a precious gem. And I would like to tell a story from the Lotus Sutra, and that is a story about a rich man, and he's been very successful. So also all the people around him are very successful and very rich, and he has a very beautiful house, very beautiful palace. But as he gets older, he thinks like, well, soon I will have to die, but I don't have an heir. I don't have somebody, I don't have a son. Well, actually he does have a son, but his son left the house when he was already very young, and he never saw his son again. And his son, he left the house when he was young, and he has been going around and being very, very poor, and always looking for the lowest kind of jobs that he can do, that he can fulfill. And so one day, his son, he's looking for a job, and then he comes by this palace, but he doesn't know that it is his father, or that it's the house of his father. He just looks for a job. And then when he stands at the gate, then he sees his father, and he sees so many rich people around him, but he doesn't recognize his father, he doesn't know it. And he sees all these jewels and all these precious belongings. And when he stands there, he feels, this is not my home, I should not be here. And it's very dangerous for me to be here, because maybe they will arrest me and they will think I'm a thief. And so he leaves. But as he leaves, his father recognizes him, and he sees immediately, that is my son. And so he orders one of his servants to go after his son and to bring him back. But when his son, when he sees one of the servants coming for him, he thinks, oh no, he has a lot of panic and fear. He thinks like, well, they're coming to arrest me and maybe even kill me. So he falls unconscious. And when his father, when he sees his son unconscious like that, he knows he has made a mistake. Out of his love, he wants his son back so much that he just wants to bring him back immediately. And so he knows his son is not ready yet. So when his son wakes up, he says, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought you were a thief, but now I see you're a very honest man, and please, you're a free man. You can go wherever you like. And his son is so happy. He thinks like, oh, I'm free. Of course, he has been free all the time, but only when he thought he had lost his freedom, he saw how precious freedom is. and how precious it is to have freedom in our life. And so he goes, and the father, he says to a few of his servants, please befriend him and give him a job, like the lowest kind of job. And then they do that, and the son, he has a job, and then slowly the son, he makes promotion, he makes a career, and his father also starts making connection with him, and says, he praises him and feeds his confidence. He says like, wow, you're doing your job so well, and I'm so happy that you work for me, and I'm so happy. So finally he becomes like the main advisor of his father. And then at one moment his father thinks, okay, now my son is ready. And so he announces to everybody that this is in fact his son and his heir. And his son, he thought that he is very poor and he does not have anything, and he does not have a lot of confidence. But all the time, he doesn't know it. But actually he's very rich. He is a very rich father, and his father wants to pass it on, to transmit everything to him. And so maybe also for us, we are looking around, and we think we cannot do much, and we are not quite as good as others. Maybe also in our practice, we think it's going so slow. Look at Thay, the Dalai Lama, the Buddha, but I am not like that. And then maybe for us, it can be an invitation if we see that we have these thoughts, that we have a lot of precious gems. And each moment is a precious gem. And we all have Buddha nature. And we all have the capacity to wake up. And so we are all like a superstar. We all have a superstar seed. But we don't need to be a superstar. I think more important to accept ourselves as we are, and to accept our reality the way it is, and to accept our wishes also the way they are, but to have a room, a space of acceptance, where the reality of our relationship, of our profession, of our food can be, and also where we also can accept to have wishes and to have dreams. And it's okay to have dreams, and I think it's very good to have dreams. But we can also always see, we can always investigate, are these dreams really going to make me happy? Or am I trying to cover my suffering up? Am I trying to deal with my suffering? Of course we know that nobody is perfect, and so we ourselves are not perfect, and we can accept not being perfect. And our children, our parents, our partner, we can accept them not being perfect. And a Sangha is also not perfect. And it's okay for a Sangha not to be perfect. We are all on the path, and we can also support each other on this path. And I think when everything would be perfect, maybe there would not be so much to practice with. So I think especially when things are not perfect, and we know that they're not perfect, and maybe we have another idea how it should be, then we can see, this is a chance for me to practice. And and Thay has sometimes said, I think the next Buddha can be a community. It doesn't need to be an individual, but it can be a community, it can be a sangha. And so together as a sangha, we can be a refuge for so many people. And so we don't need to stick to our ideal of needing to be a perfect individual. We can be part of something bigger, and together we can realize a lot. And the original meaning of sangha, it means solid, something that does not break apart easily, and so it sticks together. And the sangha can stick together because we have something in common. We have a path together, and we are going the path together, and we are also taking refuge in the sangha, practicing together, practicing the mindfulness trainings, sharing with each other, sharing our feelings, our understanding of the practice, and being there for each other, for our happiness and for our suffering. So we can listen to one sound of the bell. So we can be part of a sangha because we all need nourishment, and without food nothing can survive. And the sangha can offer us a lot, so we don't need to feel hungry, no need to feel spiritually hungry. So when we practice together, we have an opportunity to nourish ourselves and to nourish each other. And our love, our understanding, our practice, they all need food to survive. Without food, nothing can survive. And so we can see that we have a kind of nourishment that is called desire. And this desire is important to reflect on. What is it that I want in my life? Because we all have the tendency to, when we have a desire, and we see that this desire has not been realized, that we want to bring our desire in harmony with reality, and we want to realize that desire. So it's important for us to reflect what is my desire and what am I running after. And we don't need to always be so directed towards an aim. But we can see that it's more important that we have a path to go, and we don't need to arrive. Because if our desire is to learn more, and to learn more about ourselves, and to continue on the path of practice, then we know that there's no destination. There's only a path. And with each step, we can also touch the destination, because we are on the path to the destination. And we don't need to arrive. When we have the North Star, it gives us a direction, but we don't need to arrive at the North Star. So please enjoy what you are doing. We are practicing sitting meditation not to arrive somewhere, but our enjoyment is with each breath. When we walk, we don't need to arrive somewhere. Our practice is to enjoy each step and to be there for each step. And the way we nourish ourselves is also with our surrounding. So in this online retreat, we have an opportunity to have a very nourishing environment, an environment that is wholesome, that can nourish the seeds of well-being, of love and understanding, of compassion in us. And these seeds are very important to be watered individually, collectively, in the Sangha, in our family, and in our society. Because each day we are in touch with so many nourishments, with so many audio, visual content. And whatever we see, and whatever we hear, whatever we smell, it's like a stream in our consciousness. And if that is good nourishment, we are nourishing ourselves well. And if those images, sounds nourish our seeds of despair, of anger, of hatred, of violence, of discrimination, then we know that that is not good nourishment. And so our environment is important. And to have a Sangha, also an online Sangha, is a great opportunity for ourselves and for others to take refuge in. And another kind of nourishment, of course, is very physically. It's the food that we eat on our plate. Maybe at lunchtime we can see our rice, our bread, our vegetables, and we can also reflect on where that comes from. And that we nourish ourselves in such a way that is good for our body and good for our mind. And also to be aware where our food is coming from. And to see that there's so many conditions coming together to make that food for us available. And Thay has made a calligraphy, and that is, this bread in my hand is the gift of the whole cosmos. And so everything is coming together to have food for us to eat. And that food is also a gift of Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is there for us and offers us flowers, fruits, vegetables, grains to eat. And so with our way of eating, we can express our gratitude to Mother Earth, to eat mindfully and to really enjoy it and to be there. And the Buddha, he told a story in one of the sutras on the 4 ways of nourishment, and that is a couple has to go through a desert, and they go with their young son, and in the middle of the desert they run out of food, and they know they will all 3 of them will die if they don't make a decision that is very terrible, to kill their son and to eat his flesh. And that is what they do. And of course they cry and they're very sad about it. But finally they escape from the desert like that. And so when the Buddha told that story, he asked his monks, like, why did they do that? Did they enjoy eating that flesh? And then they said, of course they did not enjoy it. It was like a terrible decision. They suffered very much. They only did it because they wanted to escape from the desert. They wanted to escape from the dangers. And so the Buddha, he also said, in this way, we can reflect that what we are eating, that we are not eating the flesh of our children. And every day, of course, there's many children who are dying because they don't have enough food to eat. And our way of nourishing ourselves can be a way that we make sure that we are taking good care of ourselves and of our planet, because the planet is our base, the base of so many living beings. And by our way of consuming, like we make sure that we can make sure that this planet Earth is a refuge for many beings and continues to be. But if we are continuing the way we are doing, also with our climate, then future generations will have to suffer from the consequences. Not only our own species, but all other species. So by our way of consuming and our way of taking care of the planet, we can take care of it in such a way that our children, our future generations, will have a future, will have a life. And so for that, I think this initiative of Fridays for Future is so important, that the young children, they see that the future is not something far away, but in each moment we can build our future, and the future is also contained in the present, because the decisions that we make today will have an impact on the future. So if we love ourselves, if we love our planet, and we love our children, and we love our future generations, then we can reflect in this way, reflect in such a way that we see that the way we are nourishing ourselves, the way we are consuming, it expresses this love and this care for us right now and for the future. And so I hope when we have an opportunity to maybe in not too long of a time when we are eating, that we can reflect on the food that we are eating, and that we can be very grateful to have something to eat. And it's not, we cannot take it for granted. It is precious. It is precious to have something to eat. And if in this moment, in this present moment, everything is okay, then that can be a great happiness. We don't need to only lose ourselves in problems that may happen in the future. But in this moment, when we see that we have conditions to be happy, that we have food to eat, we have water to drink, then that can nourish our gratitude, and we can be happy to have it. And I think that is also a way of expressing our gratitude to Mother Earth. And we know that Mother Earth is there for us. And in the way we consume, in the way we live our life, we can also let Mother Earth know that we are also there for her. So I hope you are enjoying this online retreat with us, and we hope that you and we will not have technical difficulties, so we can all be together as much as possible. And please, if you see that something is not working so well, then that can also be an opportunity to practice with it. So if at times we have difficulties logging in, or we have to wait for an activity to start. That can also be a moment of practice, and practicing our patience, and practicing to accept that not everything is perfect, and that the reality is does not always look like the way we want to have things. So it's a chance for us to practice. So please enjoy this retreat, and I'm very happy that we have found a way to practice together. Thank you.